She got the chance to buy free stuff. For the next 10 minutes, everything she put in her basket would be free. But she didn't take what she wanted. She ran straight to the frozen food section and got a bunch of beef that the kids like to eat. Then there were a bunch of canned food. Every single food that was in her plan. The two sales staff were also very helpful. Finally, there was a pile of imported fruits that they had never tasted before. When the time was up, Evelyn brought the cart full of goods home. After opening the refrigerator full of frozen foods, her husband was not happy at all. The whole family sat back down at the table to enjoy their food. Only he stood there, throwing things out one by one. But the family found this behavior completely normal. Evelyn asked her husband to put the things back inside, but the more he spoke, the angrier he got. Then he picked up the pile of food and threw it all outside. Then he picked up the pile of canned food on the table and threw it all outside. But even so, Evelyn still didn't say anything. She just quietly packed up the food and put it in the refrigerator and closed it. The husband hid in a corner and ate the canned food by himself. Actually, there was a reason why he became like that, when he and his wife had just gotten married. The couple, one was a writer with a bright future, the other was a singer with a natural voice. Then an accident took away her husband's voice and he left the band. And because of life, he had no choice but to become a factory worker. Evelyn did not leave or give up. And over the years they adopted 10 children. Although life was a bit difficult, it was still considered happy. Evelyn helped her family get new household items by participating in advertising songwriting activities. Kelly had just arrived home that day when he learned that the landlord had asked them to move out in 3 weeks. He wasn't worried, he just told the kids that mom would figure something out. Then luck came. 2 well-dressed men showed up at their house. Evelyn entered the show and won $5,000 and a brand new bicycle. Then she picked out a set of household appliances, which was by far the biggest reward she had ever received. The neighbor's words made Kelly unhappy, congratulating Kelly. He had a wonderful wife. Yes, it seemed she brought good luck. Mom said she would use all the money to pay the deposit for the new house. Yes, he was lucky. Oh, Kelly was biding his time. I was just standing by cheering. Then the whole family moved into the new house, the fridge, the stove, the washing machine, the dryer all in place. Evelyn showed her husband the huge refrigerator, hoping to fill it one day. But Kelly looked down on her with disdain. In fact, this was his inferiority complex, because over the years, apart from his heavy gambling addiction, he had never done anything for his family. That night, perhaps it was the influence of the eye-catching refrigerator, or perhaps his favorite team lost the game. Kelly not only cursed at the neighbors, he also got angry at Evelyn's new refrigerator. This damn thing, what do you want to do with it? This damn thing is too big for this house. You'll hurt your back. Why don't you wait until tomorrow morning? I want to throw this damn thing out of the house now. I want it out of here. I never wanted it. Okay, let me see what I can do. The kids knew it was time to get away. And then Kelly's behavior alerted the police, and he regained his composure. After the police left, Kelly made her a cup of tea as an apology. He was so tired. His pajamas were on the bed. Thank you. Kelly felt ashamed but didn't know how to express it. Then the priest came. In his eyes, Kelly had a whole family to support. But in reality, it was all Evelyn who sacrificed. The bonus was also spent on alcohol. The priest said bluntly, "But it's still not your fault. You gave him such a good family." "Yes, I did. Maybe I will have to work harder." No one said life was easy. No one understood her. Milk for 10 children alone was a huge amount of money. Evelyn could not give her children a full glass of milk. Kelly woke up and acted as if everything last night had never happened. Looking at the results from last night, he thought it was his child who did it. So he made an unprecedented decision, which was to go hunting to fill the refrigerator. But his daughter said, as long as Dad didn't spend all the money on the bar, it would be fine. This was his place in the child's heart. So Kelly decided that every time he returned, he would bring some food back. Even if it took a whole year to fill the refrigerator before he went to work, Evelyn asked him for money to buy milk. But even if he took all the money out of his pocket, it was still not enough. The children had never once held out hope to their father. They couldn't even buy cow's milk, and yet they wanted to fill the refrigerator. Evelyn told the children, having a goal was the best. In order to save enough money to buy milk, Evelyn started rummaging through her husband's clothes. Just then her daughter came over. She was about to change her little brother's diaper, but accidentally made a mess downstairs. Evelyn did not blame her daughter. The other woman patiently handled the scene. Just then the milkman arrived, urging her to hurry up. Evelyn finished bathing her child and finally opened the door. She wanted to write down her debt so she could pay it back on Monday, but the milkman was very reluctant. No money, no milk. Just then the postman brought a letter. Luckily it contained the bonus she had won for participating in the activity. Thanks to that, the children got milk to drink, and the daughter apologized to her mother for making a mess on the floor. But Evelyn told her that if she hadn't lied and wasted time, she wouldn't have been able to meet the postman. Everything was arranged by fate, and she received her mother's praise. A few days later, Evelyn received another letter, this time with a reward of 10 minutes of free shopping at the supermarket. Evelyn wanted to share her plan with Kelly. Hearing his wife say she wanted to bring home beef for the kids, Kelly, who had just regained some confidence, began to feel self-conscious again. Luckily, Evelyn always thought of her husband. Evelyn asked Kelly what he wanted, and when the time came, she would try to get it for him. The only thing Kelly wanted was a shrimp cocktail that he had never tried before, and he had always wanted to try one. He deserved it, thank you. The next day, Evelyn was frantically shopping in the supermarket. Everything went according to plan, and the end result was perfect. When Kelly realized she had bought a bottle of shrimp cocktail, tears welled up in her eyes. But after a few glasses of wine, Kelly seemed to have become a different person. He looked at the refrigerator that he had promised to fill, but his wife had easily stuffed it. Kelly's mood suddenly darkened as he faced his husband's unreasonableness. Evelyn didn't say anything. She took out a bottle of cocktail from the refrigerator, preparing to give him a glass. At his wife's good intentions, Kelly instantly turned back to normal. Thank you, enjoy it. Not only that, Evelyn also called him over. Time passed by as the whole family enjoyed this delicious meal that was hard to come by. The rewards Evelyn received seemed to never stop. The family life was so rich and prosperous, but Kelly's alcoholism remained unchanged. Later, the eldest daughter became a nurse, and the two sons also signed contracts with the football team. Kelly considered her life as living in a cave. The children's departure was like leaving this cave with no future, and this cave was dug by him. He was the one who made Evelyn always have to think of ways to participate in the activities. Before Kelly's sincere words, Evelyn and the children just laughed at him. No one wanted to hurt him. In this family, only Kelly felt unhappy. That day, Kelly came home early from work, and as usual, he brought home a bottle of wine. The milkman outside called, and Evelyn wanted to ask him for milk money. He had no money, but he had spent all his money on alcohol. Of course he had no money. All the money was spent on alcohol. Evelyn could only put on her shoes and ask for a credit card. The milkman was very unhappy. Although he agreed to the credit card if he didn't have the money next week, he wouldn't bring the milk anymore. Evelyn had to accept that this was extremely embarrassing. Kelly said calmly and debauchedly, I think the money falls from the trees later. You have to work hard, sweat profusely at the construction site all day. And I stay home and do whatever I want however I want. Sitting in one place writing useless notes. Those notes are for this house. The only reason this house is not being thrown out on the street. Do you want to switch places? Mom, oh my God, what happened? What happened? Oh my God, Mom slipped and fell. Dad was holding Mom. Why did Dad do that to Mom? It was an accident. Dad didn't want to hurt Mom. The kids are just hostile towards Kelly. Kelly wanted to pick her up but accidentally pressed down on her, causing her even more pain. Evelyn stood up from the broken glass. She was then taken to the hospital by her neighbors, making her sad not because she was injured but because she would have to go a week without milk. Kelly sat naked on the stairs, not knowing what to do. Evelyn finally came home that evening, luckily without any injuries. Kelly took off Evelyn's still dry underwear, hoping to make her happy. But Evelyn said, I don't need you to help me be happy. I just hope that when I am myself, you don't care about me. Life will be filled with new hope. Evelyn participated in the activity and won the prize again. This time a car plus an all-inclusive weekend trip to New York. While Evelyn was packing, her son was detained by the police for neglecting his duties, and she had to deal with his affairs. She missed the chance to go to New York, and at night she sat in the car thinking about the past. Her son came to apologize for ruining her travel plans, but she didn't blame him at all. All these years of sacrifices for this family were not just like that. The judge gave him two choices, either go to jail or do military service. It seemed that the best choice was to serve the fatherland. Evelyn wanted to experience how it felt to drive this car. Her son wanted to teach her, but she refused, because if she learned, she wouldn't be able to bear to part with this car, and all the family expenses needed to be covered by selling this car. Her son offered to teach her to drive her father's car, but she still refused because she wanted to drive too much. There was so much gas in the world that she wouldn't be able to use it to go home for dinner. The food was already on the table. Evelyn had sacrificed too much and given up too much. That day, Evelyn received another letter. It was a letter from a housewife from Ohio in an advertising activity. Her daughter and Evelyn both participated. Her daughter won second prize, so she wanted to know what creative advertising idea the first prize winner had. Just like that, the two people became pen pals. The woman invited Evelyn to join her prize-winning group. They participated in various prize-winning activities. Many of them achieved good results. She hoped that Evelyn would join to share her experience and secrets. She told Kelly about it that night, but her husband said he had a lot of things to do. Saturday was precious to him. Oh really? Then I won't mention it anymore. In the end, only her son took her to the meeting, and before leaving, her little son gave her a huge gift. The boy picked all the tulips from the neighbor's house, which not only ruined the plan, but also caused the neighbor to demand compensation. Evelyn did not blame the little girl and faced the situation with the boy. And then time passed. The girl finally learned to drive, and Evelyn planned the reunion again. This time she had a smooth start. As they left this land, Evelyn felt the scenery outside the window was even more green. But at this moment, the car suddenly started smoking. The two of them had a hard time reaching the gas station. The mechanic knew at a glance that the fan belt was broken. The daughter knew that her father had deliberately not changed the fan belt. Evelyn said that it was because Kelly did not notice. But the daughter knew. She suddenly said, "Mom, have you ever wished you had never married Dad? Oh no." Yes or no? Evelyn did not answer her daughter. The daughter thought that her mother should have a better life. It was so hard to get out, but the wrecked car got in the way. But Evelyn said she never regretted it once. Moreover, she wanted to leave, and she enjoyed the trip very much. Moreover, he had his excellent daughter with him. The car was soon repaired, and the two continued on their journey. Even a small problem could not affect Evelyn. Soon they reached their destination, where everyone in the group enthusiastically welcomed Evelyn. There she found Cheeky, who was like an elite female army. Together they studied how to write the best advertisements. It's just that such an activity will eventually come to an end. Evelyn learned a lot from this trip. She has the chance to participate in the final big tournament. After finishing their journey, the two of them returned home and suddenly discovered that the door was locked. They went to the back door and saw that the children were all outside. Knowing that Kelly had locked the children outside, she led them to knock on the back door. Kelly helplessly questioned her as to why she was home so late. If he couldn't even spare half a day to take care of his children, he should get the hell out of this house. She dared to run away like that, let go of her mother. Because of this shortcut, a creative advertisement suddenly appeared. Picnic or no-go. Glio recording is always the best. 9 a.m. start. Lunch is quickly completed. The flavor sparkles on the surface. Glio recording makes your meal fun and lively. After such a torment, Kelly was also tamed. Evelyn told the kids to go watch TV and she would prepare dinner. Then she found a piece of beef in the refrigerator. It turned out that Kelly was going to make dinner for the kids. But Evelyn was not home. He thought she wouldn't come back. He was busy. He knew I wouldn't leave the kids to him. Kelly was relieved to know that Evelyn wouldn't abandon her. He prepared a gift for Evelyn. It was a set of exquisite furniture. Although he couldn't help her, he still tried his best to support Evelyn. Just a phone call made Evelyn's heart turn half cold. The bank informed her that the second mortgage from 3 years ago would be due in 1 month. Kelly drank until the car was soft and returned home to find Evelyn had been waiting for her for a long time. She asked Kelly if there was anything left on the loan. He knew this day would come. He had spent all those years on booze. Now they were facing foreclosure. Kelly figured the worst thing would be to rent one. That way she wouldn't have to worry about fixing up the backyard. But Evelyn said the house was hers. Yes, this house was hard won for her, but Kelly had single-handedly destroyed it. Evelyn couldn't help but tell the kids about having to stay at someone else's house. The kids had a lot of opinions about their father. But Evelyn told the kids to respect their father. There was only one last can of food left in the cupboard. Evelyn took it out, then unplugged the refrigerator. I wonder what they will face in the future. She seemed to hear the children's voices. Then she went to the wardrobe and found the children praying that their mother would win another big prize, and not let her influence them. The money for the beef was running low again. But this time the milkman took the initiative to put it on credit. Evelyn was extremely grateful. He just did it on purpose. He hoped Evelyn would be able to take all the stuff from his car. If she did well, there would be more later. But this seemed like an insult to Evelyn. She gave her daughter the change. Then she went inside to make a phone call. It was a detective on the other end of the phone. He would be visiting this afternoon. Evelyn had entered the tournament and had made it to the finals. This was very good news. The detective came to the house in the afternoon to collect some information. Evelyn used her best attitude to face the detective. As he left, the detective told her that the final results would take another half a month to a month to be announced. After seeing the detective off, Kelly excitedly hugged Evelyn. He thought that victory was already within his grasp. The kids asked Evelyn if they would still have to leave this place. Evelyn replied that everyone should prepare well. Kelly was still immersed in the joy of victory. Evelyn said there were still 19 other competitors. She was prepared for the worst. Don't worry, kids. It doesn't matter at all. No, it doesn't matter. Even if we win, so what? We are still as poor as before. Because Dad stole all the money from this family. Dad didn't steal anything. Dad just made a mistake. Huge mistake. You think this doesn't hurt me? Dad worked to pay the bills. Dad wanted you all to have steak. Dad wanted your mom to have high-end appliances, not cheap knockoffs. I don't care. I want our house back. Still there. Please have some sense. Now you're making me angry. Evelyn ran upstairs. If they lose this chance, they will completely lose their current life. Kelly said that if they don't win this time, there will still be a next time. It's just that this is the last time. There will be no more activities like this if we lose this house. Then I'll just have to rely on fate. I can't rely on word writing contests to buy a house anymore. Can't. You need to think of something. Go think of something. This is the right thing to do. Because I can't think of anything anymore. Please don't do that again. Please don't forget. I'm not a god. If you can't stand seeing me crazy, then leave. Me calm down. Well, Evelyn had no choice. As a housewife, she had done her best. The day to leave had finally come. Suddenly the phone rang and Evelyn went to answer it. There was a congratulatory voice on the other end. The children immediately ran up, thinking that their mother had won the lottery. Only the other end was just a salesperson. Evelyn hung up the phone and left the kids alone. What needed to come would eventually come. In the afternoon, the children packed their luggage and prepared to move out of the house. At that moment the phone rang again. Evelyn mentally prepared herself to answer the phone. Hello, hello. Is this Evelyn Ryan? Yes, it's me. Ms. Ryan is very pleased to inform you that you have won first prize in Dr. Pepper's Your Life contest. Oh my gosh. You have won a trip for two to Switzerland, Mustang, a pair of Longines watches, and a prize of $3,006. This prize couldn't have come at a better time. Come on kids. I'm so glad to hear that from you. You have so many reasons to be proud. After all, you beat 250,000 other people in the competition you entered. Thanks for telling me this. You made my day brighter again. Thanks Ryan. Have a nice day. We won. Mustang, a pair of Longines watches, and a bonus. Evelyn once again carried her family through hardship. But the daughter didn't seem happy. Kelly saw that and went to comfort her. Taff is fine, son. Everything is fine. We are fine. No, we are not. Evelyn went upstairs to comfort her daughter. The daughter knew that her father would not change. Evelyn of course understood. But she said to her daughter, "Do you know what the man who called me just now said? You don't know. He said I beat 250,000 other people who were in the tournament. And you know what? That's not the best thing about me. Honey, you have your whole life ahead of you. No matter what happens, you have to rely on your own way of walking. You have a smart brain and a beautiful heart. You can do anything. Anything can happen, you know. Forgive me. Forgive me because he helped you get these things so that one day you can overcome everything. I love you, Mom. I love you, Mom." After all these years, Kelly sings again. The daughter chose to forgive her father. Evelyn did not choose to go sailing. Instead, she paid off the mortgage on the house. Of course, on the day of receiving the award, she will have to go to the brand owner to receive it, which is considered a trip. This is the first time she has eaten food made by someone else. The first time she wore a knife and plate without having to wash them. The first time she took a bath without having to scrub. The first time she slept in a bed without having to change the sheets. Evelyn never won another prize again. Over the next few years, she sent her children off one by one. Even the youngest child left the cave. Evelyn also considered her life mission complete. After a while, Evelyn sent Kelly off. What surprised her was that Kelly left behind a secret account. It was Evelyn's retirement money that had been prepared for many years. Or perhaps it was Kelly's act of penance. Evelyn no longer worried about money. The day she left this world, all her children returned to this place. Tuff took her mother's typewriter. And what made Evelyn proud was that Terry wrote her mother's story into a book. The film is based on a true story about Evelyn's descendants living in various places across the United States, working in various professions. Tuffrian's 2005 work, The Prize Winner of Defiance, Ohio, was made into a movie, which is worth mentioning because of the ending. All of Evelyn's real-life children appeared in the film. It is hard to imagine that this is a true story. Evelyn does not complain about life and does not blame her husband. On the contrary, in this difficult life, she finds her own value. Perhaps the meaning the film wants to express is not consistent with the value of that official. But the film still praises great women who sacrifice themselves for their families. The story in the film takes place in the 1960s. At that time, the status of women in the United States was generally very low. TV also propagates that emotionally unstable women are not suitable to run for president. Even a man as incompetent as Kelly will receive favoritism from the police and priests, while still believing that he is the pillar of the family. What Evelyn has gone through is truly great. Her greatness lies in the fact that she never thought of leaving the abyss of life. She looked at things from a special angle. Her daughter made the floor dirty. She comforted her daughter. It was all fate. Her son destroyed the neighbor's tulips. She did not blame him but faced it with him. When something negative happened, she would always face it with a positive attitude. The nature of life is suffering because we cannot please ourselves. We will always be upset with the people and things around us when they do not meet our expectations. We sink into it and can't get out, gradually losing the will to live. Evelyn is one of the few who can get out of all 7 lives. Not being affected by suffering makes an optimistic person move forward. She accepted her unsatisfactory life and used a different way to live with the pain. Having fulfilled her life mission perfectly, she sent all 10 children off on their own path in life. Of course, everyone has different goals to pursue. But no matter what, doing something you are not ashamed of is still the best. No review can replace watching and feeling it yourself. Good movies deserve to be watched and received. Today's story ends here. Thank you for watching the movie. What do you think about this movie? Please comment below.